Hi, I'm Ju. I'm 35 years old.
Hi, I'm Sheldon. I'm 22.
Hi, my name is Jacob Lewis. I am 44 years old.
Hi, my name's Carmen and I'm 32 years old.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I'm 41.
Hi, my name is Thierry and I'm 28 years old. I'm a part-time bartender and full-time student. My lifestyle is quite similar to other people from the millennial generation. And my hobbies include cycling, hiking, cooking, and it used to include live music before. Dating for me before the pandemic was pretty casual. I had nothing relatively fixed, so kind of just a rotating cast of different partners that I was seeing. I think it was probably characterized by a lack of consistency and commitment, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's more like free-spirited type of thing.
I am a marketing executive. As far as my lifestyle, I guess, I skateboard, I shoot photography, I am a co-host and host of 2 different podcasts, and I care about people and I care about Black people. Dating for me here in Gothenburg has been very strange in the way that I'm not the person that typically goes to a bar to meet someone. For the most part, my entire life, anyone that I've dated has come in the context of knowing a friend of a friend or being introduced to someone. For me, dating has always been a very personal thing. I don't think it was ever more about being out and about for me.
I'm a graphic designer and focusing on retail branding design. I like to take some workshop, like doing some ceramic stuff. Sometimes, if I got time, I would like to go hiking with my friends. I think regularly for first date in London, we just take a few hours and sit in a cafe or a pub or a bar to try to get to know each other.
I'm a writer. I enjoy playing PlayStation. I enjoy reading. I also enjoy photography. Dating for me in London before the pandemic was cool, I guess. Because I'm quite young, I feel like I was not really that focused on dating and finding like a long-term partner.
I'm working for IBM, IT multinational conglomerate. I also work with the LGBT community here in Wrocław. We are spreading awareness about LGBT plus people, and we are fighting for our rights. Dating in my city was pretty usual, right? So you met people on Tinder, or someone bring a friend into a party, and then you set up for a date, for a coffee or a movie or a beer. Sometimes you can go for some other dating activities.
I'm a European operations manager for a recruitment company based in the City of London in Bank. In my spare time, I'm an avid gym goer. I love music, I love eating out, socialising. Dating for me in London before coronavirus has always been, I'd say, colourful. It's been easy to get dates, and I don't mean just for me. I mean, you can go on an app, you can get chatting to someone, you can go out for a drink with someone that evening, you can meet someone out locally, but I don't think that it's always been about quality. And I feel like you definitely have to be fully committed and fully available to give yourself up to the idea of being in the dating world.
During the coronavirus pandemic, that changed pretty significantly because there aren't many bars or parties and you're not meeting up with anybody. Through the entire time that we've been on lockdown here, I'm in Copenhagen. I've had just one partner. It was one of my partners from before the pandemic, and because neither of us could see anybody else, we just kind of started spending more and more time together. And that was a bit interesting because all of a sudden we were going from something that's ill-defined and open and casual to something that's technically still those things, but we're spending much more time together to the point where it's almost like a more traditional type of relationship.
It haven't changed for me so much because there was only a month or so of a lockdown in Poland. I did date one person during the pandemic, during the lockdown, but she was a resident in a hospital and the hospital was closed. and I was working from home, and we were meeting only each other.
I don't think lots of people keep using a dating app at that moment. If you just keep texting to each other, it can't lead you to go anywhere.
I found it really hard to establish a conversation with people. You either found that people had loads of times because they had no work and expected you to be able to text them all day, every day, or people had more time but just weren't invested and committed to wanting to meet you. The amount of people I had that said to me, do you want to break the rules? And given that this happened at the height of Corona, and I was like, people are dying. No, I do not want to meet you. I don't know who you are. And least of all, I'm not going to have sex with you and potentially die. I found it made me look at other people's morals in a different way than what I'd thought before. Seeing how they stood on something like an issue such as this, where we're being given instructions to potentially save lives, and people not taking it seriously, it made me question what they were like in other parts of their life.
I've had conversations with people and tried to get to know them in other parts of the world. And also, because Sweden hasn't been locked down, I've gone on physical dates. It's almost as if life is exactly the same here. Scary to me being an American when I see what's happening where I'm from. It feels like an apocalypse is happening, but then you come here, if I were to, on a dating app, meet someone and go out with them, I don't think it would be anything different than it was before Corona, and that's very scary.
I found that coronavirus gave me Zoom fatigue. I was tired of technology. I hated that I had to be either on my phone, on my computer to engage with people. So the idea of then doing that for fun, it didn't appeal to me at all.
I did that few times with the same guy. After that, we just went quiet. So yeah, between this pandemic situation, I don't feel video call helps a lot.
The ones that I've had, months and months ago, they've been fun. And it's also cool to, of course, see how other people live. You get a sense of their clothing style also, the music they have, the books they have on their shelves. I think that it's really, really hard to build a connection without that physical aspect also. I think pheromones are very important.
I was against socially distance dating quite early on, but then I warmed to the idea because I got chatting to a guy that had good chat. We got on. We decided to meet. We met in a park, did the whole socially distance thing. We ended the day, bumped elbows, went our separate ways, and haven't spoken since, which might to some people sound terrible, but for me, and I think for them as well, is exactly what we needed. We both needed to experience a new person in an unfamiliar setting to make sure that we could still be humans.
I've done that here since the lockdown was lifted. It's actually not bad. It's definitely better than a Zoom date, for example. And maybe a good way to build up some kind of initial rapport with another person. But if you're looking for more intimate relationships, I think that's quite difficult to do if you have to maintain a really long period without any physical contact. I think eventually you just kind of become friends in a way.
If I was doing that, I don't know how strongly I would adhere to the 2 meter distancing rule. But if you can do it, then yeah, I don't see why not. I think it's nice to see someone actually in the flesh and also get some fresh air as well, because being locked up in your house is not very fun.
The prolonged period without any human interaction or limited human interaction has really left people craving intimacy, attention, and we're humans, we're tactile creatures, we miss human touch. So I think, unfortunately, people are probably going to rush into things quicker than they should do.
I noticed that happening here, that people were dating really, really aggressively as soon as the lockdown measures were lifted. So I wouldn't be surprised if the period just after a quarantine has less patience and people moving faster through the different steps in a relationship.
I really don't see people rushing into anything right now. I think there might be some impatience regarding sex because people just spent few months in their own homes.
One of my friends, through this pandemic situation, being isolated for a few months, she feels like she had enough. She just considering to find something really serious start from now, because she knows that kind of time to stay with another people together. It's quite precious.
I think people will definitely leave this like whole pandemic being a lot more patient. A big part of self-love is picking the right partner that is able to like complement you.
I don't know. I don't have a judgment either way, but I don't believe that people are going to be more patient. I think people are going to be a lot less patient just because of the nature of needing touch.
But in the long term, I think having had the break from dating for a while maybe will make us more patient when it comes to finding a partner or just being more comfortable being alone for long periods of time. Do I think that people's hygiene is going to change in the long term? I think people are going to wash their hands more, but people are still going to be too horny, I think, to hold off just because they're not sure how somebody else's hand washing habits are.
I don't really know how many people ask people their sexual history before getting into bed with someone, let alone asking them how many times they've washed their hands. I think people are going to forget quite quickly, which is quite sad.
I really hope it will change, especially, sorry guys, males in Poland will start taking showers more regularly and take care of their basic hygiene.
We're going to see a lot more agoraphobia of people being a lot more scared to go out and fearful to actually physically meet people. Yes, I've actually seen it at the grocery store here.
I'm from Taiwan. We had the experience about SARS. I think you can still have a date with someone quite safely. And if everyone just like keep following up what the government says, keep washing your hands and put your facial mask on when you are taking public transportation or going somewhere public.
I'm hoping like this pandemic hasn't changed how people date, like looking at hygiene, because I hope they were aware of hygiene before.
Now I'm not so sure because people are gross.
I will say 2 of these for the dating in the future. So yeah, I think it's going to change for the positive, yes.